So what did Jack Roddy mean to you?
Jack was an inspiration. He, I guess the first time something he said that just struck me when I was starting to bulldog was, he goes, it's not always the best, it's those that want it the most, and those that try it the hardest. And I thought, well, then I've got a chance, because I know it wasn't the best, but I could try hard.
Yeah.
And I know we're sitting there in his trophy room in San Jose, and that's when he said that. Well, the first time I met Jack was up there with my dad. We were shooting horses for his dad, John, and Jack, and then later when I got to bulldogging, and I called him, and he said, "Yeah, come on up." And so I went and practiced, and he taught me how to bulldog. I mean, he's just so helpful and so good with horses, and he was a motivator too. I know at San Francisco one time I had a steer I didn't like, and he goes, "You got it." Just I don't know exact words.
Yep.
But I win the short go, win the all around, and it was because of what he go do it. Just you can do it.
And what do you remember of John Jr.?
Johnny, he was just he was a go-getter guy. I mean, he was a great person, a great competitor, and he loved to win.
So Jack Roddy and Senior were contemporaries, and you and Junior were contemporaries.
Johnny was I can't remember the year he started, but it was in the early 80s.
And you were competing against each other.
Well, yeah.
But rooting for each other. You were, as Jack said, you were happier for the victory than to be 1-2.
Well, that was true. I mean, as long as 1 and 2, but you didn't want to be 4 or 5 and him 1 all the time either. I'll tell you, Johnny didn't. But he was usually 1 and I was 4 or 5.
And how about Cotton Rosser?
Cotton Rosser was a great guy. I'll tell you a story. One time, Johnny and I were some rodeo in Utah, and we had to get back to Salinas, and there was no flights. It was too late. So Cotton, if we could get a flight to Sacramento, and he had some people he knew in Sacramento that got us a charter. Well, not only that, but we had to have a twin to get into Salinas because it was fogged in. And he got the flight for us from Sacramento to Salinas so we could make the rodeo that night. And it was pretty, and I always remember that. It was really special that he went way out of his way to do that, and and we made it.
Yeah.
It was special.
Yep. Someone was saying about Cotton that he was so sincere, like when he would come out and shake right around the arena and shake kids' hands, that he truly enjoyed the people in the state. He enjoyed everybody.
Yeah, Cotton's great.
Yeah.
I mean, he treated me wonderful, and I was just a guy, but that's the way he was, We were at Brawley one time and go to eat dinner, and all the uppity-ups from the rodeo committee are in there, and he'd come sit down with us and had dinner and introduced us to everyone, and that's just the way he was.
Yeah.
He was a people person, and he did it well.
And sincere.
And sincere, yeah, very much.
What do you know about Kendra Santos?
Kendra is probably the greatest rodeo sports rider there has been.
Yeah.
She does more for the true story than anybody I know. She's a great gal, I mean, I knew her dad and he was one of my dear friends, or is, and he was good. And for somebody that didn't really go and, he'd go to the local rodeos, but he was busy. He could not.
He didn't have time. He
Yeah,
must have been
right.
a natural.
He worked hard at it too.
Yeah. But what do you remember of Cal Poly? What years were you there?
I was just there 1 year,
Yeah.
76, 77, I think it was. I had a great time. I loved it. I went there to rodeo, and that was it.
And all the greats that have come out of Cal Poly. Jack was talking about. He went there. John Lacey, Monty Roberts, Bob Tallman. It went on and on and on. That it was a great, and still is a great.
Yeah, there was Joe Marvel went to school there. Probably the greatest bronc rider that lived. There's been gobs of them. Surely a lot of people from that country that went to school there that went on and accomplished a lot.